Hey there UK users, today we've got a knife I've been looking to review for quite some time on the table. It's one that I was actually hoping to get in the Heine Christmas sales because they had it at a very respectable price, but unfortunately they all sold out just before I managed to get one. Luckily for me though, a viewer, Mr. Paul Harding, has generously loaned me this knife to review. He's given me permission to disassemble it and carry it quickly, so I'll be able to do a nice full proper first impressions and like full review on this thing. So thank you very much, Paul. Hugely appreciated. So let's have a look. You get your standard Boker Plus box, which is a very nice box, you know, very respectable. And hey, look at that. Oh, straight away, what I can tell you I definitely do not like about this knife is how shiny that pocket clip is, and that it's not deep carry. So that would look like, I get a bit of cardboard here. Oh, it needs more of a ramp as well. Look at that. It's, I don't know if you can see that, but the ramp's actually lower than the thumb stud. I mean, that's an easy fix. If this was my knife, I'd just bend that tip up a little bit, but it's not, so I won't touch that. Okay, how about paper? There we go. Yeah, look, you have to. There we go. So it looked like that in your pocket. You can see a little bit of the blade. It's not the end of the world, but it's definitely on the lower end of incognito, you know. But there we go. It's fairly weighty. Oh, I like that though. Really like the sort of like the acid stonewash finish on the blade. So obviously G10 handles, just, where's that FRN? I think that's G10. Encased around steel liners. Got a huge, thick steel back spring there. Like comes all the way down to there, and then so you got like that much back spring at the back here. Loving this. Although I tell you what I'm not loving as well. They've done the finger choil, but not a sharpening choil. Look at how that tapers there. Yeah, again, that'd be another thing. If this was my knife, I'd add a little sharpening choil just there. But again, this is a. Let me see how expensive this is quick. Okay, so this is about just shy of £50. There's also a drop point instead of this clip point that's £2 more for some reason. This is the colour scheme I get though. I really like the OD scales with the like sort of distressed looking blade. The only ones they've got on the site now are just plain black scales with a satin finish. But you know, we've got a lot of jimping up here, which on this one actually sort of does make sense because you have a finger choil, so you actually really can you get all the way up? Yeah, that whole line of jimping is, I'll never use it, but you know, if you were taking this to a bit of wood or something and really trying to carve something, you know, that's a really good grip for that, and you can, you know, that's quite well accommodating for that. So that's actually really not bad. That's impressive, that grip. This one, like your standard grip, not so much. It's not uncomfortable, but it's not an ergonomic master. I think it's that clip. Maybe it could do with being contoured here a bit as well. It's not uncomfortable though. You know, I'd happily use this, especially for 50. That's really not a bad price. And this is 440C there. yeah, I gotta say I'm liking this design. It's definitely a more aggressive. Oh, strong old spring there. But yeah, it's entirely one hand usable. Gotta respect that. So let's have a look at the inside of this knife. But this seems like a great option for UK carry, because there aren't many knives in this price category, to be honest, that are this feature complete. You know, Finger Choil, one hand thumb stud, G10, alright steel. You know, it's not just stainless. There we go. So that's your surround. That's your stainless steel liner. You got Teflon washer on there, Teflon washer on there, and there you go. You can see there's your half stop, and there's that. And they've sort of done a little bit. I don't know if you can see the camming on the back of that. They've sort of done a Spidey, what they do on the UK PK and the bird turn, where it's easier to open because you can just smooth over that, and then on the way back though, the edge of this will catch. So have a look. On the way back, catches on that ridge, but when you're going past it opening, it just sails right over like that. And there we go. I guess I've got the whole blade off now. So yeah, it's 2 Teflon washers each side. I'm going to have a lot of fun trying to get this back on. Oh, I did not want that to happen. Oh, my thumb. Yep, if you're taking apart a slip joint, always try not to let the blade pop off the spring if you can help it, unless you need it to, of course. And as you can tell by this little cutout just here on the pivot, it's a captive pivot. So I think that's that thick back spring bit I was talking about there, by the way, that huge chunk of metal. That's probably adding a lot to the weight of this. So yeah, let's get this back together. But so far, yeah, I mean, I'm very impressed with the construction of this. There doesn't seem to be anything that they've really skimped on, so far as I can see. So of course a T8 for the pivot and 2 T6s for the spine. Just, you know, your standard. Get in there. And there doesn't appear to be any Loctite on any of these screws, so very easy to take down and put back together. Too tight. That is centered, and now there is a little bit of side to side. There's none, and still centered. There we go. So yeah, there's a couple of things that maybe a higher end knife would include, like would have thought to include, like sharpening choils, shaving off half that back spring to save weight, maybe just a better clip than that, or at least having the clip like ramp up higher than the thumb stud. But you know, for the money, this is really not bad, and it's one of the few UK legal knives I've seen where you can actually properly choke up on that. Let's quickly see how UK legal this is. So this is another one. If you're going from the bolster, it's actually just a tad over 3 inches, but the cutting edge is of course well below that. The cutting edge is 2.7, so this is another one. If you're not comfortable carrying longer than the 3-inch for the whole blade, this is one to avoid. But if you're happy to just mention, hey look lads, come on, it's cutting edge, not blade length, then I'd happily carry this one. But it's something to consider, especially depending where you're carrying it. I do like that, the walk and talk on this, even though it's not a traditional. That's pretty satisfying as well. Yeah, I gotta say, really impressed with this. There'll be an accurate spring strength measurement on the chart, but yeah, thank you very much. Cheers, look forward to carrying this.